Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 18, Shloka 8. The shloka is related to Nṛsiṁhadeva. Please recite. Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya. Namaste Jasa Tejase. Avir Bhava. Vajranaka. Vajradamshra. Karmashaya Randhaya Randhaya. Tamo Grasa Grasa. Om Swaha. Abhayam Abhayam Atmani Bhuyishta. Om Shraum. Om. O Lord. Namaha. My respectful obeisances. Bhagavate. Unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Narasimhaya. Known as Lord Narasimha. Namaha. Obeisances. Tejaha Tejase. The power of all power. Avir Bhava. Please be fully manifest. Vajranaka. O you who possesses nails like thunderbolts. Vajradamshra. O you who possesses teeth like thunderbolts. Karma Shayan. Demonic desires to be happy by material activities. Randhaya Randhaya. Kindly vanquish. Tamaha. Ignorance in the material world. Grasa. Kindly drive away. Grasa. Kindly drive away. Om. O my Lord. Swaha. Respectful oblations. Abhayam. Fearlessness. Abhayam. Fearlessness. Atmani. In my mind. Bhuishtaha. May you appear. Om. O Lord. Shraum. The bija or seed of mantras offering prayers to Lord Narasimha. Translation and purport by Sri Venkateswara Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Nṛsiṁhadeva, the source of all power. O my Lord, who possesses nails and teeth just like thunderbolts, kindly vanquish our demon-like desires for fruitive activity in this material world. Please appear in our hearts and drive away our ignorance, so that by your mercy we may become fearless in the struggle for existence in this material world. Please repeat. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Nṛsiṁhadeva, the source of all power. O my Lord, who possesses nails and teeth just like thunderbolts, kindly vanquish our demon-like desires for fruitive activity in this material world. Please appear in our hearts and drive away our ignorance, so that by your mercy we may become fearless in the struggle for existence in this material world. Purport. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 22, Shloka 39, Sanat Kumara speaks the following words to Maharaja Prithu. Yatpada pankaja palasa vilasa bhaktya karma shayam gratitam budghatayanti santa tadvan narikta matayo yatayo piruddha sroto ganastamaranam bhajavasudevam. Devotees always engaged in the service of the toes of the Lord's lotus feet can very easily become freed from hard-knotted desires for fruitive activities. Because this is very difficult, the non-devotees, the jnanis and yogis cannot stop the waves of sense gratification, although they try to do so. Therefore, you are advised to engage in devotional service of Krishna, the son of Vasudeva. Every living entity being within this material world has a strong desire to enjoy matter to his fullest satisfaction. For this purpose, the conditioned soul must accept one body after another and thus his strongly fixed fruitive desires continue. One cannot stop the repetition of birth and death without being completely desireless. Therefore, Srila Rupa Goswami describes pure bhakti devotional service as follows: Anyabhilashita sunyam gnana karma dhanavritam anukulyena krishnanushilanam bhakti ruttama. One should render transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord Krishna favorably and without desire for material profit or gain through fruitive activities or philosophical speculation. This is called pure devotional service. Unless one is completely freed of all material desires which are caused by the dense darkness of ignorance, one cannot fully engage in the Lord's devotional service of the Lord. Therefore, we should always offer our praise to Lord Nṛsiṁhadeva, who killed Hiranyakashipu, the personification of material desire. Hiranya means gold, and Kashipu means a soft cushion or bed. Materialistic persons always desire to make the body comfortable, and for this they require huge amounts of gold. Thus, Hiranyakashipu was the perfect representative of materialistic life. He was therefore the cause of great disturbance to the topmost devotee, Prahlad Maharaja, until Lord Nṛsiṁhadeva killed him. Any devotee aspiring to be free of material desire should offer his respectful prayers to Nṛsiṁhadeva as Prahlad Maharaj did in this verse. Om Agnanatimirantasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurme Yena Tanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Krupa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Itinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thanks a lot for this opportunity. Welcome to Srimad Bhagavatam class. And today, actually from yesterday onwards, Prabhu gave very nice class about Harivarsha. In Harivarsha, Prahlad Maharaj especially, how he thought of Lord Nṛsiṁhadeva, who specially came for him and saved him and offered respectful prayers, like that yesterday verse we saw. And today, in which way he is offering prayers, it has been explained here. Actually, this verse, almost to everyone by heart it comes, and it's very famous verse also. Even last year, Nṛsiṁha Chaturdasi, all the kids, they had this task also, that they need to learn this verse. Om Namo Bhagavate Nṛsiṁhaya Vajranaka Namaste Tejase. Right? So, this way, everyone knows it and it's very good. And let's know a bit deeper about, more than Sanskrit, the meaning. Here, few topics are there, but one main topic Srila Prabhupada concentrated in the purport is about karma or fruitive activities that we do, how it will be vanquished completely when someone is in service of Vasudeva or Krishna or Nṛsiṁha. But in this, if we see, some things are there which we will discuss, just touch up, and then we'll go into that karma related topic and fearlessness related topic further. So, Tejase, power of all power. Avirbhava, please be fully manifest. And let's say, like if we see on next one, Vajranaka Vajradamstra, thunderbolts, nails like thunderbolts and teeth like thunderbolts. But if we see every day, we sing the Namaste Nṛsiṁhaya Praladala Dadayine Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha Shilathanka Nakalaye. In this, if we see the power that Nrsimha has, which is giving pleasure for Prahaladala, Ahlada. But for at the same time, the powerful teeth and nails of Nṛsiṁhadeva are tearing the stomach of Hiranyakashipu. So the power of Nrsimha for devotees, it is pleasure, whereas for demons, it is pain. So this is one thing that we need to understand from our everyday chanting of Nrsimha prayers also. That's why whenever we chant these Nrsimha prayers, we literally, even while chanting also, while singing also, everyone will be in ecstatic mood. Maybe the tune is good or whatever is the reason, definitely it will give so much pleasure for devotees. The another day, when I was in Prodhatur, when we were singing, no, some of my relatives who don't like enter this process, then they felt very awkward or very uncomfortable when this song was getting played, and then they just left the temple hall and then went out, and after finishing this song came, then they were saying, too much sound you guys are doing. So when we see this way also, for devotees it is pleasureful, for non-devotees it is not giving pleasure, it will not give pleasure, it will give pain. Even small kids know that our Bhagavat and all does not feel any too much sound at all when this song was getting played. But whereas big people who can tolerate the sound, they go to marriage functions and all, and nicely DJ sounds and all comes, and too much sounds comes there, but they can tolerate that, but they cannot tolerate this Namaste Nrsimhaya song. So the nature, basically the nature, anything related to God gives pleasure for devotee and gives pain for non-devotees. That is something which we can see here. That's why the pleasure that Lord gives now, Prahlada is praying that Karmashaya Randhaya, kindly vanquish my demon-like desires to be happy by material activities. See, Karma Ashayan, when we see Ashayan is to become like, Asha means what? Desire, and to be happy from the desire. But Karma Ashaya, that means I want to be happy through my karma, through fruitive activities, through material activities. That is demon-like desire. That's what Prahlad is saying here. So when we come to this demon-like desire, right, either sin or pious activity, this both comes under the demon-like desire only in this material world. That's what, just before the class was starting also, I was like, we were discussing, me and Vishwambar Prabhu here, about that. This is the reason even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to this material world. Not only Lord Nṛsiṁhadeva, any avatar of Krishna or Krishna himself, whenever he comes to cut our demon-like desires, to do that transformation in us, whereas we are struggling in this material world eternally. To cut that, he will come and he will teach through devotional service, Bhakti Yoga Vidhanartham. Kunti Devi also told, no, he comes to teach through Bhakti Yoga. And even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga, Shikshardhamekam Purusham Purana, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Shariradhari Kupamudir Vatsa Aham Prapatya. Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga. So to teach the real Bhakti Yoga, he will come. And that goes through the renunciation. The fruits of bhakti is renunciation. Not that renunciation will lead to bhakti. This is some problem which is there with many materialists and many so-called spiritualists, like here Prabhupada told, no, Jnanis, Karmis, and all the other yogis. And even in today's Shikshamrita, he was talking about all the other sects also. Prabhupada was talking about all the other sects, how they are different from Krishna consciousness. So all these people think that just by becoming Vairagya, they got the ultimate perfection. No, Vasudeve Bhagavati Janayate Asu Vairagyam. So only by devotional service and only by devotion to Krishna, that real Vairagya will come. And now when we see the similar prayers, Like now how Prahlad is praying, the similar prayers has done by Advaita Acharya before the advent of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this material world. And just now Prabhu was saying, the verse starts from 398 in Adilila. Okay. So Advaita Acharya is praying as follows. Seeing the activities of the world, the Acharya felt compassion and began to ponder how he could act for the people's benefit. See, one more thing is that when we see 7:9:43, Naivod Vijay Paraduratya, Prahlad Maharaj was not at all unhappy. Even yesterday 7:10:3 onwards also, this is the whole purpose. No, he is a Vaikunta man. Why he need to be unhappy? He doesn't have kunta. He doesn't have anxiety. He doesn't have miseries. But he is not bothered about himself. When we show 7:9:43, he is not bothered about himself. He is bothered about others. For that only he came in this material world and teaching by his example, Acharyate. They teach by showing their behavior. And we should follow, not imitate. That is one thing. And now here, for people's benefit, Advaita Acharya is doing. That means what? He is already in benefit. He don't need. But he's praying like this. You see, what is real karma? Ashe randaya. Here he prays as follows. Apane Shri Krishna yadi karene avatara, apane Achari bhakti karena prashara. Advaita Acharya thought, if Sri Krishna were to appear as an incarnation, he himself could preach devotion by his personal example. And in this age of Kali, there is no religion other than chanting the holy name of the Lord. But how in this age will the Lord appear as an incarnation? That's why Chenna Avatar, he is covered. He appears as a Triyuga. Triyuga, Chenna, the day we were seeing that shloka also, right? So Chenna Avatar, he was covered, and in this yuga, he will not come with Chaturbhus, and he will not take Sudarshan Chak, and he will not kill directly all the people whoever are miscreants, like how he did in Satyayuga for Vamana, in the avatar of Varahadev and Nṛsiṁhadeva. He will not do that here. Even Rama, Krishna also. He came to give the holy name, which is the real savior in this yuga. Later we will see in Mukunda Mala Stotra also, Shatruchchedeka mantram, Samsarochcheda mantram. Uchcheda means uproot. Samsara means this Samsara Sagara, that whatever we are all struggling, right? This mantra, this Krishna mantra will uproot all the karma that we have, and it will give the real fruits for the human being, whatever actually it is benefit for him. In this age of Kali, there is no religion other than chanting of holy name of the Lord. But how in this age? Okay. My name Advaita. Where is this part of both are sinful activities? While he was thinking about to propitiate Krishna by worship, the following verse came to his mind. This is Tulasi 1. Of course. So Lord cannot be sold by any other fruitive activity. He will be sold only by bhakti, Tulasi leaf and water, because Tulasi is so much devoted, and he will be sold to Tulasi. That's why he just took the Tulasi shelter and offered it to Krishna, like Tad Britya, Mukunda Mala Stotra. Again, he says, no, Mukunda, sorry, Kulishekara Arvar. Thus, the Lord liquidates the debt by offering himself to devotee. Considering in this way, the Acharya began worshipping the Lord. So, by offering Tulasi, he felt like Lord will be indebted, like Lord feels like he is indebted to his devotee because he offered Tulasi. Then he will definitely listen his prayers. That's what. And he offered the Ganges water, which is again devotee. Protector of religion. Yes. Oh my Lord, you always dwell in the vision and hearing of your pure devotees. You also live in their lotus-like hearts. Today also this point has been mentioned. He will live in the hearts of the devotees, which are purified by devotional service. O my Lord, who are glorified by exalted place, you show special favor to your devotees by manifesting yourself in the eternal forms in which they welcome you. This is, I think, 3:20:25. No, 3:9:11. Even 3:20:25 also similar, right? Anugrahaya Bhaktanam. 3:20.25. 3:20.25. Anugrahaya Bhaktanam. That Rupam he will take. When Brahma went to Svetadip, he wanted Krishna to appear as the Chaturbhuj Ananta Padma Napa. So then there it has been told, even in that purport also it has been clearly mentioned that Lord appeared as Ram for Hanuman, and Lord appeared as Nṛsiṁhadeva for Prahlad, and Lord appeared with the Chaturbhuj for Brahma. That is the reason, no, when Krishna was there also, he did not recognize. And when Jambavan was also, he fought with Sri Krishna, and like this many scenarios were there that they could not recognize. Even though they are pure devotees, they will know as much as the Lord sanctioned to them. The essence of the meaning of this verse is that Lord Krishna appears in all his innumerable eternal forms because of the desires of his pure devotees. Now, yesterday we saw one point clearly. Nṛsiṁhadeva came because of Prahlad, right? And it is not the same case in every thing. Sometimes he come to kill the demons, and sometimes he come only to give pleasure to the devotees. But sometimes he do both at the same time. The number of activities that he do is definitely inconceivable, and it's like all in one. When we go in 10th class, whoever studied, we buy one all in one book, whereas all the 6 subjects will be there in that. Like that, every subject will be there in Lord's incarnation, and he protects and he kills our demons like desires, and he gives us the devotional service, and he gives us the pleasure by playing playful acts, like in 10:33-36 he says, no, Krida, Tadrishi Krida. So by playing, he will give pleasure to the devotees. By his place, he give the pleasure to the devotees. Right. What is that exact verse which says, in this material world, both sins and pious activities are both sins? In this chapter only. That's why he is calling 97. One verse before. Everyone was engaged in material enjoyment, whether sinfully or virtuously. No one was interested in the transcendental service of the Lord, which can give total relief from the repetition of birth and death. Karmashaya randhaya randhaya. That is the point that Krishna came here. Keha pape, keha punya, kare vishaya bhoga. Vishaya, this material sense gratification. Bhakti gandha nahi, they don't have bhakti. Yete yaye bhavaroga. Bhavaroga, this is the disease of the material existence. The day Tatit Prabhu made one shots, like when COVID was there. COVID kills you only one time. This Bhavaroga will kill you many times. So that's why real disease, if we want to kill, we should kill this Bhavaroga. That's why again many verses are there in Mukundamala Statra saying that He loke shrunita presuti marane. Like this, this is the aushadam for the Bhavaroga of presuti marana, birth and death. The aushada is, real aushada is Krishna consciousness. Like that, Mukunda Malastotra, Kulshekara Alvar again says. And even there is one verse whereas completely it is about Aushada, just after that only, I think. So like this, he explains pretty further. The Bhavaroga, killing of it can happen only through Krishna consciousness. Even there are another incidents. Let's say like when Parikshit Maharaj and Sukadeva Goswami was discussing after 5th canto finishes. Then Parikshit Maharaj gets this doubt of how to get rid of these fruitive activities, fruitive desires from the heart. Then, because before that he was talking about Prayashchitta, Kunjara Sochavat, 6:110. Then he poses the doubt that how to come out completely. Then 6:114 onwards, Tapasa Brahmacharyana. Let's go to that part also, can. 6:114. 14 and 15. Because he mentions I'm like this one and next shloka. tapasa brahmacharyena shamena damena cha tyagena satya sauchabhyam yamena niyamena va dehavak buddhijam dhira dharmajaha shraddhayanvitaha shipanti agam mahad api venugulam ivanalaha. So if you see this, he will give one analogy when we and next shloka, of course, he clarify clearly. Kechid kevala bhaktasya vasudeva parayana. That only can only the devotion to the Vasudeva only can make your karmic activities or karmic desires completely vanquish. So to concentrate the mind, one must observe a life of celibacy and not fall down. One must undergo the austerity of voluntarily giving up sense enjoyment. One must then control the mind and senses, give charity, be truthful, clean and non-violent, follow the regulative principles, and regularly chant the holy name of the Lord. This is the Savior. Thus, a sober and faithful person who knows the religious principles is temporarily purified of all sins performed with his body, words, and mind. These sins are like dried leaves of creepers beneath a bamboo tree. Dried leaves, which may be burnt by fire, although their roots remain to grow again at the first opportunity. So these sins are like dried leaves of creepers beneath a bamboo tree. Bamboo tree, dangerous thing is what, one creeper there also, the tree can come again. If we see, let's say in my hometown also, there was one place, 1.5 acre, the bamboo tree has been there. The bamboo tree is there. And we go under it, we cannot know where is the starting creeper, like the woodal in Telugu. So that falls, when it falls into the earth, and again the tree will come from that. So that way it will continuously grow. But when it is dried, still there is a chance of danger. But when it is burnt, then there is no chance of danger. That's why it has been mentioned that these sins are like dried leaves of creepers beneath a bamboo tree, which may be burnt by fire, although their roots remain to grow again at the first opportunity. But in next verse, he clarifies the thing that how to burn this. Like if you see, by these various activities, you should try to control the senses and start burning. But these comes under what? Kechit kevalaya bhaktya vasudeva parayanaha agham dhunvanti karsneshya Kartsnenya Niharam Iva Bhaskaraha. See, sun has been mentioned. Only a rare person who has adapted complete unalloyed devotional service to Krishna. So bhakti should not be adulterated with karma and gnana. That's why Anya Vilashita Sunyam Gnana Karma Dhanavritam. Again in the today's purport, Prabhupada has mentioned. So unalloyed devotional service to Krishna can uproot the weeds of sinful actions with no possibility that they will revive. He can do this simply by discharging devotional service, just as the sun can immediately dissipate fog by its rays. This is the true way that we can do the karmashaya randhaya. And one more place, let's say like when Nṛsiṁhadeva was saying to his sons, 5, 4 onwards, 5 onwards, 6, 7, 8. Let's say if we take this group of verses, of course, in that he says Vasudeva Bhakti 6 in the 6. In the 6 he mentions 7, I think 7. Pritinna yavat Maya Vasudeva. Yeah. Okay, no problem. We'll go to that series of verses also. Whereas it has been clearly mentioned that only by unflinching devotional service to Vasudeva can make us get rid of this fruitive desires completely. Otherwise, there is no chance. Let's say in today's purport also, right? Prabhupada was mentioning one point that these are unlimited. Even yesterday also, kamadinam katita. So we saw this verse, right? So unlimited desires, they will not be satisfied. One after the another, it will come. Just like the bamboo tree, the creepers comes, and again one more tree comes. One more tree comes. This makes us to get the birth again and again. So in the same way, this desire for fruitive activity makes us to get the body again and again. This series of verses has been explained by Veṇu Gopāl Prabhu and all our devotees also many times. But let's go through these once again. So for time saving, I'll just go through the English. When a person considers sense gratification is the aim of life, he certainly becomes mad after materialistic living and he engages in all kinds of sinful activities. Evam pravartita chakra. So one who does not follow this yagna chakra, sacrifice to the Krishna, which makes him bind, we only sins, according to Bhagavad Gita also. That's what. When he is engaging in materialistic living, automatically it is sinful activity. And in this material world, so-called activity and sinful activity, both are sinful activity. We already saw in 397 Adi. So whenever you see sinful activity here, consider it as both pious and sinful activity. He does not know that due to his past misdeeds, he already received a body which, although temporary, is the cause of his misery. Actually, the living entity should not have taken on a material body, but he has been awarded the material body for sense gratification. Since we have this desire, asha, karmasha, then we got this body. Therefore, I think it is not befitting an intelligent man to involve himself again in the activities of sense gratification, by which he perpetually gets material bodies one after the another. Then parabhavastha abodhajata. He will be always getting defeated because of these material desires. Many times we want to do Krishna consciousness. Then material desires overcomes or overpowers our Krishna consciousness. Then we will be defeated. Let's say, like I was giving this example last time also. Let's say, like when two bulls are there, which need to be fought in 1 month. For example, in Ongole and all in Andhra Pradesh, these bullfights will happen even in Tamil Nadu and all also. And these bulls, one is materialistic activity, and one is spiritual activity. And you are feeding these two bulls every day. Let's say you are not feeding the spiritual bull every day. And after 1 month, when the death comes, when these both need to fight, who will win? Whoever was fed nicely. Then all our life, if we were fed with materialistic activities and materialistic life, then how we win spiritually? We cannot win spiritually. Then we'll get the body again and again. That's why parabhavas thavad abodha jato. Yavanna jignasa atma tattvam. No jignasa for atma tattvam. Because of that, we are losing. Yavat kriyas tavad idam mano karmatmakam yena sharira bandhaha. This gives us one more material body. Sharira bandha, get bondage to this material body, in this material body. As long as one does not inquire about the spiritual values of life, one is defeated and subjected to miseries arising from ignorance. Be it sinful or pious. See, it's clearly mentioned here. Karma has its resultant actions. If a person is engaged in any kind of karma, his mind is called karmatmaka, colored with fruitive activity. As long as the mind is impure, consciousness is unclear. And as long as one is observed in fruitive activity, he has to accept a material body. Even 1 to 10, when Shuta Goswami was starting also, Jivasya Tattva Jignasa, he was mentioning that point. Whereas this life we must spend for this Jivasya Tattva Jignasa and Yavanna Jignasa Atva Tattvam. If we don't inquire and if we don't endeavor for it, let's say, like that's why Krishna gave 3 stages in 7.3 Bhagavad Gita, saying that Manushyanam Sahasreshu Kaschid Yatati Siddhaya Yatatam Api Siddhanam Kaschin Mam Veti Tatvataha. First of all, people out of thousands, inquiring itself is very less. Out of thousands, one guy will inquire. And then struggle for it. I mean, like work for it. After inquiry, work for it is even less again. Out of thousands, one more. Then while struggling like that or while working like that, getting perfection is even less. That's why the stages are there. But at least first stage is Atato Brahma Jignasa. We should start this. Who am I? That is very basic, but we should not stop there. We should reach to the perfection. Then this material body acceptance will stop completely. Let's say next verse. So this one. Even here, he clearly mentions. Evam manak karma vasham prayukte avidyatmani upadiyamane pritinna yavan maivasudeva namuchyate deha yogena tavat. Pritinna yavan maivasudeva. What? With love, devotional service to the Vasudeva will make the living entity freed from this fruitive activity. When the living entity is covered by the mode of ignorance, he does not understand the individual living being and the supreme living being. and his mind is subjugated by fruitive activity. Therefore, until one has love for Lord Vasudeva, who is none other than myself, he is certainly not delivered from having to accept a material body again and again. Let's say in next 2 verses, he concludes furthermore. Yadana pashyanti ayata guneham swarde prematta sahasa vipaschit gata smritir vindanti tatra tapan asadhya maidunyam agaram agnaha. That's why if we see tapasa brahmacharyana, it starts from celibacy. And again here, we should not get attracted to this sexual life again and again. That's the problem. Then we will get the desires again and again. Basically, when you are Jai Shri Radha Madan Mamti Jai, when you are getting married, right? The thing is that we will be moving to a new home, all this and all. Basically, even materialist says this: home full of desires, home full of wishes. They open the keys of their home with full of desires and hopes and wishes. This should happen, that should happen. Now just only we were married, we need to buy something and we need to build an empire for us. All this. That's where everything starts. Otherwise, being a bachelor, definitely you will not have that much desire. So we should control our desires from the bachelor stage itself, from the brahmachari stage itself. Then we can train properly even our wife also. Even though one may be very learned and wise, he's mad if he does not understand that the endeavor for sense gratification is a useless waste of time. Being forgetful of his own interest, he tries to be happy in this material world, centering his interest around his home, which is based on sexual intercourse and which brings him all kinds of material miseries. In this way, one is no better than a foolish animal. The problem is what? Then you will go to the aham mameti, janasya mohoyam aham mameti. You will be centric between I and mind. On basis of what? The attraction between male and female is the basic principle of material existence. On the basis of this misconception, which ties together the hearts of male and female, one becomes attracted to his body, home, property, children, relatives, wealth, etc. In this way, one increases life's illusions and thinks in terms of I and mind. By the next verse, he says, the knot, granthi. Even in today's verse also, in purport, clearly, Prabhupada was explaining from 4th canto, 22nd chapter, 1 verse, about granthi. Even here also, then, yada mano hridaya granthi rasya, granthi, that knot, no, that hard knot, we should cut. Karmanu bhaddo, druda, ashla theta. So, what is that granthi? Karmanu bhaddo, which makes us bind for these karmic activities. When the strong knot in the heart of a person implicated in material life due to the results of past action is slackened, Pritinna Maya Vasudeva. So when you do the devotional service to the Lord, then this will be slackened. One turns away from his attachment to home, wife and children. Attachment to wife and children. It may not be necessarily that one turns away from home. But even he is saying, Padmapatram Ivambasa. Though the drop of water staying on the lotus leaf, it is not, sticking to it. It is very detached. So the same way, even though he is staying in Grihastha life, even though he is staying in Brahmachari life, that's why even in Bhajagovindam song, one verse was there, whereas saying that if the heart is with full of desires, even if you renounce yourself and sitting under the tree and sleeping under the tree like a, pretender, like a pretender, what's the use? The karma, fifth chapter Bhagavad Gita, first 5 verses, or 6th chapter Bhagavad Gita, first verse, this is what Krishna is saying, no? That not if you don't take out in whichever stage of your life, then even accepting the sannyasa is useless. But that knot has been taken out. Even if you are in Grihastha life is also pretty useful. That is the thing, karmasaya randaya. This way, by performing devotional service to Lord Krishna, we will come out from that hard knot of material desires and fruitive activities. Even we can see ourselves also, like Falena Parishiyate. The day we started our chanting, and let's say after 1 year, if we have give up something which is related to material, that is a progress. But the problem is our life is very short. The progress should be really exponential. Actually, not even exponential. Exponential problem is nicely ramp will come, then it will go very slowly. I don't know what is the word which say impulse. So it should be like in this life itself, the devotional service and the progress for getting rid of the fruitive activities, the desire for that should go like impulse, immediately shoot up, like how rocket goes, no? So that way with the escape velocity, let's say like that day also Prabhu was saying, if we need to go from the earth, if we need to escape from the earth's gravitational pull is 9.8 meters per second square. But if you see, the rocket fuel has been filled and the engine power will be there in such a way that it will be 2g. G is the gravitational pull of the acceleration of the earth. So when you do with double the speed of the earth's pull acceleration, then only you can escape from this. So that way, if you say how to escape from this hard fruitive desires, we need to do our devotional service with pretty much interest. That day Prabhu was also saying one example. Okay, what is the criteria for getting uplifted or uprooted and go beyond, like move very fastly up to the spiritual world from this material world? Then he was saying, let's say if we do 16 and just follow basic minimal principles and all, sometime come Mangalarti, sometime not come, don't take seriously, we'll fall down, even if when we are in bhakti. But if we are doing 16, just basic minimal service, I am coming Mangalarti, but I have my limits in doing service, all these things and all. This way, maybe we may stay there. But if we are doing more than 16 rounds, for example, nice rounds, not Alibaba rounds anyhow, nice rounds, more than 16 rounds, and do read more and do serve more, then definitely in this very life itself, good chances, 100% chances are there for us to get uproot our all material desires and go to Krishna Lok. That way. So like I don't know how to say in English. So if the crowd is moving at 10 km/h, if you need to come first, you need to go at 20 km/h, then you will come first in the race automatically. So if everyone is doing basic minimal devotional service and this material world by natural, it's like river flow, opposite current is coming, that itself is 10 km/h and your devotional service is also 10 km/h, you will be stagnated and stay there only. If we need to go further, definitely we need to increase our devotional service, increase our reading, increase our, that's why the series of verses again, 1 to 18, 1 to 19, 1 to 20, there also this grantha has been mentioned. First is listening to Bhagavatam every day. Then Tada Rajas Tamo Bhavas. We will come out of this material modes of ignorance and passion. And then our hard knot of desires will be cut in next verse. So then which verse? That next verse, right? That next verse. That's that series of verses. 18, 19, 20, 21. In 7th chapter, Bhagavad Gita, first sloka, that purport, in that purport also Prabhupada has given that explanation. I think I can go there. 7 purport. That's 7th chapter, first sloka purport of Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada has mentioned these 4 verses, so that he is mentioning all the topic at one place. Even in Dharma book also, very nice book of Srila Prabhupada. If we read Dharma book, we'll know this. He gave the series of verses and gave nice explanation for each and every verse also. Ayo, so much time. I'll just go to the translation. So basically it starts from 1 to 17, I think. 1 to 17. 1 to 17, 18, 19, 20. Evanna prasanna manaso bhavat bhakti yogena. So next, vidyate hridaya granthis. See, chindantye sarva samshayaha. It will clarify all our doubts. Comes out of all our doubts. Let's see the translation. To hear about Krishna from Vedic literatures and to hear from him directly through Bhagavad Gita itself is itself righteous activity. And for one who hears about Krishna, Lord Krishna, who is dwelling in everyone's heart, acts as a best wishing friend and purifies the devotee who constantly engages in hearing of him. In this way, a devotee naturally develops his dormant transcendental knowledge. Basically, everyone has this transcendental knowledge, like 22 1.7 Madhya saying, no, it's like we need to, what is the Sanskrit? Suddenly I forgot. 22.107. It is there in us, everyone. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunai, Shravanadi Suddha Chitya Karyevude. So, by hearing and by chanting, we will wake up that dormant love that we have for Krishna. Even whenever we hear the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra purport given by Srila Prabhupada in our tape also, we always hear, no, the dormant consciousness will be gone and then Krishna consciousness will be awakened by chanting the holy name. That's the use of this chanting and hearing. As he hears more about Krishna from Bhagavatam and from the devotees. Basically, problem is it should not be contaminated, sarpochesta, like milk touched by the serpent. Poisonous, it will become poisonous. So we should hear from devotees. He becomes fixed in the devotional service of the Lord. By development of devotional service, one becomes freed from the modes of passion and ignorance. And thus, lust and avarice are diminished. This is the place where our karma, ashaya, will be diminished. When these impurities are wiped away, the candidate remains steady in his position, nishta, in his position of pure goodness, becomes enlivened by devotional service and understands the science of God perfectly. Thus, Bhakti Yoga severs the hard knot of material affection and enables one to come once to stage of asamshayam samagramam. That means he is without doubt that he need to do this devotional service. Understanding of the, and this is the absolute truth, understanding of the supreme absolute truth, personality of Godhead. This is from 1 to 17 to 21. Like this, the series of verses are there at many places about how to cut this hard knot of fruitive desires that we have in our life. That only can happen through devotional service. And devotees are so merciful that they will do this. That's why again we go to one more series of verse like 7, 9, 43 to 46. Yeah, 46. Prahlad Maharaj answers saying that there are various activities, tens of activities, but out of that only devotional service can do this happen. Like that he concludes. Naivo dvije paraduratyaya vaitaranyas tadviryagaya namahamruta magna chitta soche tato vimukachetasa indriyartha maya sukaya bharamuda udvato vimudan. Oh, best of the great personalities, I am not at all afraid of material existence. Devotees not at all afraid. That even yesterday point also again Prabhu clearly told. For wherever I stay, I am fully absorbed in thoughts of your glories and activities. Because they are absorbed in the glories and activities of the Lord, they are not afraid. There is no other reason. My concern is about only for the fools and rascals who are making elaborate plans, not even normal plans, life after life plans, making for material happiness and maintaining their families, societies and countries. And I am simply concerned with love for them. Devotee is paradukha, parasukha. If others are feeling unhappy, he feel the first unhappy. Even today's song also, when we were singing, this point is there, no? Bifala sevinu krupana durjana chapala sukha lavi lagire. Both. So for a fraction of flickering happiness, I have uselessly served this man. But again, if we see, he of course everything criticizes about the material wealth and what happiness this will give Govindas. But the last again he is giving the solution. What is that? It is the desire and great longing of Govindasa to engage himself in the 9 process of bhakti. Shravana Kirtana Smarana Vandana. Like this. So every devotee to come out of this desires of material desires, he will definitely take the devotional service. And we may get doubt because you are all devotees, that's why you are taking devotional service. But what about yogis? That's why I will later go to that point of 7946 and see how Prahlad Maharaj is saying all other processes are not useful. Even in the purport also we can see. My dear Lord Nṛsiṁhadeva, I see that there are many saintly persons, indeed, but they are interested only in their own deliverance. The problem with other saintly persons is they are interested in their own deliverance. Not caring for the big cities and towns, they go to the Himalayas or the forest to meditate with vows of silence. Mauna Vrata. Mauni, like this, it will start that verse also 7946. All these methods will not work. They are not interested in delivering others. As for me, however, I do not wish to be liberated alone, leaving aside all these poor fools and rascals. I know that without Krishna consciousness, without taking shelter of your lotus feet, one cannot be happy. Therefore, I wish to bring them back to shelter of at your lotus feet. Without this, nothing else can work. That's why when it comes to the Kali Yuga, at least in other yugas, you may have some concentration for meditation. But in this yuga, that completely not possible. This is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives the conclusion saying that Hare Namaiva, Hare Namaiva, Hare Namaiva Kevala. Kalo Nasteva, Nasteva, Nasteva Gatiranyata. Of course, here, this is also beautiful and important. All this actually, Yanmai Tunadi Gruhame Sukameva Tucham Kanduve. Like this it goes. So, sex life is compared to the rubbing of two hands to relieve an itch. Grahamedis, so-called grihasthas, who have no spiritual knowledge, think that this itching is the greatest platform of happiness. Problem. Although actually it is the source of distress. The Kripanas, fools, who are just the opposite of Brahmanas, Brahmana opposite Kripana, are not. That means Brahmajanayati iti Brahmana. One who is in the path of Krishna consciousness, knowing about himself, is Brahmana, and one who is not interested to know about himself is Kripana. Those who are Dhira, however, who are sober and who tolerate this itching are not subjected to the sufferings of fools and rascals. They will come out of this. And this one. Mauna Vrata Shruta Tapo Dhyana Swadharma Vakya Raho Japa Samadhya Apavargya Praya Param Purusha Tetva Ajitendriyam Varta Bhavanchuta Navatra Tud Dhambikanam. Just show up. See, of the persons who are falsely proud. All this other process are for persons who are falsely proud. O Supreme Personality of Godhead, there are 10 prescribed methods on the path of liberation. To remain silent, Mauni, not to speak to anyone, to observe vows, to amass all kinds of the Vedic knowledge, to undergo austerities, to study the Vedas and other Vedic literatures, to execute the duties of Varnashrama Dharma, to explain the Shastras, to stay in a solitary place, to chant mantras silently, and to be observed in trance. These different methods for liberation are generally only for a professional practice and not means of livelihood for those who have not conquered their senses. Because such persons are falsely proud, these procedures may not be successful. Avishuddha Buddhi. So again, Prabhupada was quoting the verse here, saying that Kechit Kevalaya Bhaktya Vasudeva Panayanaha. Only devotional service to Vasudeva can uproot all these weeds that we have in our heart. And what is the best method that we saw lightly in 397 to 3.1.102 when we saw the series of verses that Advaita Acharya told. But again, we can see just one more verse, whereas Mukundamala Stotra says, there are benefits by chanting this mantra. 7 benefits actually. Shatruchedeka mantram, Sakalam Upanishad Vakya Sampujya mantram, Samsarocheda mantram, Samuchita Tamasa Sanga Niryana mantram, Sarvaishwaryeka mantram, Veshana Bhujaga Sandasta Santana mantram, Jivve Sri Krishna mantram, Japa Japa Setatam Janma Safalya mantram. So the point that I want to highlight here is this Samsarocheda mantra. But of course, we can see every part also. Shatru Chedeka mantram. So this mantram, Krishna mantram, when we chant on our tongue, what it will do? It will kill all our enemies. It will not kill someone who is from our neighbors or like India killing Pakistan. Not this. The enemies which are inside us, like Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, it will kill those enemies. And this has been this is the verdict of all Upanishads also. Sakalam Upanishad Vakya Sampuja mantra. Not only that, Samsara Uchcheda mantra, the cycle of birth and death, samsara, uchcheda, which uproots by this mantra. This is the thing. Karmashaya, randhaya, randhaya. Tamo, grasa, grasa. It will make us to come out of this mode of darkness. Right? Here, next one you see. Samuchita tamasa, sanga niryana mantra. So, this tamasa, like even today's verse also, this is related. Asatoma sadgamaya, tamasoma jyotirgamaya. Always our scripture says that don't be in this mode of darkness. Come out of this, rise above and come to the light. Right? Mrityoma amrutangamaya, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So, driving away all the darkness, this mantra. Sarvaishwaryaka mantram. Not only that, it gives the best of all opulences. Yesterday Prabhu was showing 7th canto, 10th chapter, 3rd to 13th verse. In that he was saying, devotee get opulences like yours. When someone becomes devotee, 10th verse, right? That one. So devotee get opulences like yours. Shadeshwarya Purna, Krishna. Then that kind of Ashwarya he will get by chanting this holy name. Vyasana Bhujaga Sandasta Santrana mantram. Vyasana. Vyasana means what? Here material distress. Generally, if you see in Telugu and all also, the bad habits, vyasanas. Bhujaga. Bhujaga means snake. Sandasta Santrana mantram. These bad habits that is giving material distress for us are biting like snakes every time. And we'll come out of that. First of all, when we become devotee, we are coming out of our bad habits. And we are committed not to do this again. By this thing, we will come out of that. We will get the power to come out of that. Jibbe Sri Krishna mantram, japa japa satatam janma safalya mantram. When someone chants the Sri Krishna mantram through his tongue, he will get his life will be successful. Janma safalya mantram. So this way, everything by chanting the holy name and by following the devotional service strictly, we can come out of this karmashaya, randhaya, randhaya. Only one topic left, I think, in this. That also will just slightly touch up and go. Grasa, grasa. Abhayam, abhayam atmani bhuvishta. So, fearlessness. Let's say like we chant the Nṛsiṁha mantra also, no? Again, other one. Ugram Veeram Mahavishnum Jwalantam Sarvato Mukham Nṛsiṁham Bhishanam Bhadram Mrityor Namamyaham. Mrityor Namamyaham. He is the death for the death person. So he take out all fear of death from us because he is the commander of it. That way we lose all our fear. Even that day Subla Prabhu was showing me one verse from Padyavali. What is the main like character of Nṛsiṁha? This is from Padyavali test 7. Vatsalyas abhaya pradana samayat ardhardi nirvapanat audaryat agasoshanat aganita shreya pada prapanat sevayah sripatireka eva jagatam yete cha set sakshina praladasya vibhishanasya kiritat panchalya halya dhruva. Vatsalya abhaya pradana samayat. So the characteristic of Krishna is he takes care of us like kids. He's doing the all portion for us. Abhaya pradana samaya. He gives us the fearlessness. He gives the abhaya for us. Padyavali test 7. Test 7. Vatsalyas abhaya pradana samayat ardharti nirvapana. Not only that, he will take out us from the material distress. Ardharti nirvapana. Audaryad aga soshanat aganita. Shreya pada prapanat. So with kindness, right? He all our sins he will drive away. Aga Shoshanad Aganita. All our sins he will drive away. Shreya Pada Prapanad. Not only that, the result that he give is he give us the ultimate benefit. Shreya, not prayer. What is that? Devotional service of the Lord. Esham Tvantagatam Papam. Unless and until we get rid of our sins, we cannot Jananam Punya Karmanam. Te Donda Mohanirmukta. Bhajante Mam. So we cannot worship Krishna. He take out our sinful life and he gives us the highest benefit. Sevaya Sripatir Eka Eva Jagatam Etecha Set Sakshina. All these things he has done for 6 people. Prahladascha Vibhishanascha Karitat Panchalya Halya Dhruva. One is Prahlada, Abhaya Pradana. He did. And he saved him many times. And Vibhishana, he saved him from the sinful association of Ravana and gave him all the opulences. He gave the kingdom. And one more, Karitat, Gajendra, when he was in Ardha. So he was in distress. He has taken out his distress. Karirat. Panchalya. Panchali, who has 5 husbands? Draupadi. He saved her from the biggest danger when the sari was taken out. Just his holy name saved him. Ahalya. The sin of Ahalya has been get rid away by the touch of the lotus feet of Rama. Dhruva. He has taken care of Dhruva like a father by giving all the opulences, even materialistically and spiritually. So this way, when we pray to the Nṛsiṁha, when we pray to Krishna, he is Abhaya Pradana. So Abhayam Atmani, Bhuishta, Om Stram. So this way he offered the prayers. By your mercy, we may become fearless. Actually, we definitely will become fearless when we are getting his true mercy. In the struggle of existence, for existence in this material world. So these are the topics of today's verse. So only conclusion is, if at all we are not chanting, we should start chanting. Definitely everyone here are chanting the holy name already. But if we are in that stage, we should improve our stage of life by hearing more about Krishna, by hearing more about glories of Krishna and more about Krishna Katha and more from Krishna, like Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, whatever it has been recommended. And by following all the 4 regulative principles strictly, and by getting renounced or detached as much, not as much, fully, as soon as possible. By like this, there is always like, so Prabhu was also saying, no, devotee from 10 years is different. Somebody may be devotee from 10 years, but his progress will be checked. Like you cannot be said as senior when you say you are sitting in the 10th class from 10 years. That is the statement that he gave. Right? So we should not be stagnated in devotional service. There is a lot to do. We should always improve. There is a scope for improvement. That way we'll become fearless and we'll get rid of our fruitive activities, desires that we have in our heart, and the hard knot that we have will come out of it through this devotional service. And what are the devotional service? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevana. Out of that, what is the primary one? Shravanam, Kirtanam. This constitutes all 9 process of devotional service. 15th chapter or 19th chapter. 19th chapter Madhya 1:15:107. Simply by chanting the holy name of Krishna once, a person is relieved from all reactions of sinful life. One can complete the 9 process of devotional service simply by chanting the holy name. Eka Krishna Nama Sarva Papakshaya. Yeah, this is the Sanskrit training. Navavida Bhakti Purna Nama Haite Haya. So this is the thing that we need to do, and we are in right path, and we should be even more content, and we should even present this philosophy contently to others when we are presenting, by seeing all these things, and then we can achieve the transcendental love of Krishna through this process. And there is 5:14:4 also, whereas this same thing has been compared when the materialistic life forest of materialistic, first 5 verses, clearly explaining about how materialistic life binds. Let's say, like if you see 5:14:4 now, even if you give small hint also, it will come back again. This verse we gave in Malaygiri Dham, I still remember. I was like the previous day 5:14:3 Vishwambar Prabhu gave, then next day I was doing 5:14:4. Every year the plowman plows over his grain field, completely uprooting all weeds, completely uprooting all weeds, completely uprooting all the fruitive desires. Nonetheless, the seeds lie there and not being completely burned. That's why burn, even in 6:1:14 also, the burn should be there. The burn of sinful reaction, the burn of fruitive activity desires must happen. We cannot say, for time being I am keeping away, now I am doing devotional service. The problem is, if we have some desire on it, definitely it will give the root and weed again come up with the plant sown in the field. Even after being plowed under, the weeds come up densely. Similarly, the grihastha ashrama is a field of fruitive activity. This is the place where we will be doing all the fruitive activities, and this is a, like, center ground. The problem with grihastha ashram, unless the desire to enjoy family life is completely burned out, it grows up again and again. Even though camphor may be removed from a pot, the pot nonetheless retains the aroma of camphor, giving the metaphor. As long as the seeds of desire are not destroyed, fruitive activities are not destroyed. Like this. So the seeds will be burnt. Like that day, our ice cream producer, when they came also, they were arguing like this. When the seeds are already burnt, then how it will sprout? So like this, all these devotees became pure in like whatever 11 names declared. You think not even one seed he burnt, Prabhupada? Like this, he was giving me the comparison. Then how it will sprout? Jay Padaka not fallen down. Like he was giving Gopal Krishna Maharaj not fallen down. Like this, he was giving the contest, saying that if the seed is burnt, generally even in the real time also, generally if we do the tarpanam, right, we leave the til, and that one, uh, the shastra is that you should not leave that anywhere else other than ocean. Why? Because if you leave it anywhere else, there is a chance of the seed grown. Then you are doing disservice to your pitru devatas welcoming back to here. If the seed is grown, that till seed is grown, then the pitru devata, even if he has time, he will come back immediately. So like that, so it should be completely burnt, so the seed will not be grown again. The seed of material fruitive activity will not be grown again by devotional service. Like that. So any other things to add or correct? um, uh, some doubts, I think. Yeah, somebody giving reference. Huh? we see that is only Prabhupada. So SB 6:16:7 is a nice verse in this regard. 6:16:39. Yeah, that one in last to last class, Tatit Prabhu shown, Sundar Gopal Prabhu already shown it. 7:4:19. In spite of achieving the power to control in all directions and in spite of enjoying all types of dear sense gratification as much as possible, Hiranyakashipu was dissatisfied. Yes, these are all about Hiranyakashipu. Even he says, no, tatsad manya asuravarya dehina. He was praising him and saying that pitvatmugatam grihamanda kupam manangatayam harimashe. So this is the problem. If we don't control the senses, even if he is asura varya also, no use. That's the problem with Hiranyakashipu. That's known. Fine. I don't like this country. We are nothing great compared to other countries. I think he's talking from India. Why not great? Okay. Then why we use mobile and internet? They are also materialistic. This question has been answered by Tatit Prabhu hundreds of times. That whatever is there in favor of devotional service we use. We don't use mobile for ordering the meat. We use mobile to preach, definitely, because you are all eating meat through mobile. So we want you to stop that eating meat, doing illicit sex, doing gambling, and doing all the four sinful activities through mobile only. that can be done. You are not coming to temple, so we are coming to your mobile. That's the thing. If you come to temple, then for us there is no need to come to your mobile. And whatever it is, we should use in devotional service. That is the right usage. Neti 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 is not the correct way. The correct way is to use in Krishna's service, anything. So those are the clarifications. So anything else, Prabhu? ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंद हरि हरि बोल।